G'day gorgeous, and welcome to the podcast that's dedicated to turning entrepreneurial women into a millionairess from the inside out and enriching lives for generations to come. This week's podcast: 3 major reasons we quit on ourselves, our loved ones, and our dreams. The G'day Gorgeous podcast is where you'll get real, raw, and relatable stories and guidance and proven formulas that can help you overcome your frustrations and live a life you truly love every day. I'm Amanda Jane Clarkson, Editor-in-Chief of Millionairess magazine, best-selling author, speaker, entrepreneur, and Millionairess mentor. And if you love the idea of becoming a millionairess from the inside out, pop over and visit us at millionairessmagazine.com or click the link in the notes below. Of course, be sure to have your journal and a nice cup of tea ready for your aha learnings and your inspirations. I have so much to share with you. Let's jump right in. Good morning. Welcome to today's live podcast. I'll give you ladies a moment to jump on and join me for a fabulous podcast today. Helen, thank you for jumping on. And Helen, thank you for that amazing post that you shared this morning. It really is uplifting. And for all of you ladies here, Helen has been in, I think my community for many years now, a couple of years at least. The thing I love about Helen is Helen implements. She doesn't just gather the information because nothing happens. Power is not within the information. Power comes from collecting the information, then putting it into an intelligent sequence, and then implementing everything that we talk about, which I'm going to go through today with you. You will absolutely need your journal today because I'm going to go through the 3 reasons why, as humans, we quit on ourselves, our families, or those we care about, and our dreams. And I think that all of us have been through the times where we just don't feel that we can get this together. We don't feel that we can pick ourselves up and find a way to keep moving towards the light. You know, that heavy rain cloud comes over and it's raining hard and you just can't see past it. It's dark and gloomy and it just feels impossible. And you ask yourself, how the hell am I going to pick myself up and keep moving towards the dreams that I've had most of my life, or the dreams that I currently have? And yet there's so many potholes, there's so many hurdles, there's so many challenges that it just seems too hard. And I do know how it feels because I have been there countless times myself throughout my entrepreneurial journey and throughout life. Life and success, it can feel difficult. Having said that, there is always a solution, and I want to go through the 3 reasons why today and give you a little bit of insight and hopefully some inspiration to be able to pick yourself up, get those big girl courage pants on, have a nice cup of concrete and keep moving forward no matter what. So we've got so many of you on here today, which I'm fabulously excited about. Louise, good morning, beautiful. And Desi, it is so good to see you and all the love hearts flying. You all know I'm a love heart tart, but I know these love hearts are not just for me, they are for each other. And I think that's fabulous in this Millionairess community that we can share so much love in here, because the truth is there is nothing else but love. When we go to the end of our days, we won't be counting the houses we've got. We won't be counting the money in the bank. What we will be counting is the love that we have in our life, the people we have in our life. Did we go to the end of our days doing all that we could with all that we had? And so it's so important to understand that love is everything. Connection is everything. And we all want to feel connected, and we all want to feel we have contribution to make a difference in not only our lives or our families' lives, but in the world. And I know that to be true for all of us because I've studied so much about human behavior and what really drives us internally as human beings. So thank you for being here today, ladies. I'm going to jump into it. And again, if you're new to this podcast, welcome. There is something for everyone. It is always mostly G-rated. And, my outcome is to inspire you to see the possibility that life can be anything and everything that you've wanted it to be if we keep progressively moving forward. So that is a key word that I'm going to be talking about today, progression. So the number one of the major reasons, I'm not going to say the number one, but I would believe it's pretty much boils down to the number one reason we quit on ourselves, our families, our loved ones, our dreams is because we are not living our authentic selves. We are not living our authentic purpose. And when I say authentic purpose, to break it down in very simplistic terms, I mean what we are best cut out for in life. We are all cut out for something. You just know internally what you're good at. And there is nobody else in the whole wide world who is exactly like you, exactly like me. And we each have some sort of gift, some sort of talent that we just shine at, something that floats our boat, something that lights our world, and something that makes us feel good inside. Now, whether you are an entrepreneur, an intrapreneur, that is beside the point, because we can shine within each person's companies or different businesses as long as we are fulfilling something that is meaningful and purposeful for us. So one of the reasons that we quit is, I like to say, we are running enthusiastically or in a negative way in the wrong direction. So enthusiastically or with dread in the wrong direction. So I want you just to take a quick moment and ask yourself, when you wake up in the morning, do you feel that you're moving enthusiastically in the right direction towards the light and away from the rain clouds? Or do you wake up with dread and you know with certainty, but you don't want to admit it, that you're not moving in the right direction, and so you feel that dread. Now, where does that dread come from? The dread usually comes from living other people's lives or people pleasing. That could come down to our family members, our spouses, our children. So many women, some guys, so many people live lives around other people. They wake up and then they don't even think about what they want. They don't think about how they want their health to be, their love life, their relationships, their financial destiny. They don't think about anything except pleasing other people. Worse than that comes what society expects of us. Dogmas, as in how we've been brought up. Antiquated, what I call antiquated expectations. Kind of like the old thoughts like, get a job that pays the most money. You should be a doctor, a dentist, a psychologist, or any other profession. And I'm not knocking the professions, please don't misunderstand me. But many parents put this on our children. Go and get the job and study what makes you the most money. But the question is, and this is what I went through growing up, and I'm speaking from my own experience here, is that but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go and get the particular job. And the job that I was trying to be put into was a secretary. My parents wanted me to be a secretary, work in an office, bloody file paperwork all day long and see how I could climb the corporate ladder. I remember going out on a job experience once when I was going through school. I must have been about 15. And I went to an office where I was the secretary for, I think it's about a week or two when you do job experience. I blocked it out of my head. I hated it that much. But I remember going there and I remember walking into this office and it was dark and gloomy. And I grew up in Tasmania, so the weather wasn't always hot and sunny. There was always a lot of overcast, and it's quite a cold state of Australia, if you haven't heard of Tasmania. And every time I walked into that office on that job experience, I think it was for 2 weeks, my heart literally sank and I could feel my body just going, another 8 hours of this, pretending to be somebody I knew that I wasn't, pretending to enjoy a job I absolutely hated, pretending that I was happy to go to a place just to please my parents or my teachers or somebody who thought that I needed to work in an office job. And I remember feeling like a trapped bird, and I just really hated it. And so you might relate to this story. Ask yourself, are you moving through your day? You might be in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s right now, doing the same as I was doing at 15 years of age, turning up to a place that seems to suck a little piece of your soul each and every day. Does anybody relate to this? You know, it is soul destroying. And this is why we quit. It's easy to quit. We've quit before we've began. And here's what I believe. In fact, here's what I know. If you're turning up to do something each and every day and it's robbing a little piece of your soul, I know that you'll never feel successful. You might become successful, say financially, you might climb that corporate ladder, but internally, you will not feel successful. You will not feel fulfilled. You will not feel energized. This is where, you know, people get chronic fatigue. They feel anxious. They feel depressed. You know, these are where these emotions begin from. And I know because I've been in those shoes. Have any of you been in that space? And so we've got to ask ourselves, this is the reason. Are we truly being true to ourselves? And here's what I would say. The conversation is a difficult conversation at times. And we all have a purpose in life. Some call it a calling, a vision that we want to fulfill. We are here for a reason. We are not here to fulfill other people's wants, other people's desires for us unless we want to do that. You know, not to get confused. Not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur. Many people, or millions of people, I should say, are incredibly successful, shining their torch within other people's companies. And so ask yourself, when you wake up in the morning, are you enthusiastic to get out of bed? Are you inspired to do the work that you are called to do? I believe, because I've gone through this, I've had 33 jobs, 14 different businesses. And I remember one day I needed to have this conversation with myself. And I remember I was taking my poodle for a walk across the road, and it was the time that we'd been on stage sharing wealth creation seminars for 12 years. And we were taking a break from that. Matthew, my husband, wanted to get into something else. He wanted to get into property development. And I went into what I call an early retirement, which literally lasted for 3 weeks. From the first day I woke up and I wasn't fulfilling my heartful mission in life or my own calling, I started to go backwards. And I know some of you have heard this story, but it's an important story. I started to go backwards mentally and emotionally. And I like to feel that I feel that I'm a pretty strong person most of the time. Having said that, the moment I stopped moving towards the light, I could instantly, almost overnight, feel that digression. And I remember walking across the road there, trying to pretend to myself that everything would be okay. You know, I was going to have an easier life now. I could get up and I could do the gardening every day. I could go and have cups of tea with my girlfriend, go shopping, you know, and have a great life. But underneath that, I was not feeling really good about myself. And I remember standing across the road there while my poodle was sniffing every blade of grass in the street. And I knew in my heart that I hadn't finished what I was meant to do. I knew in my heart and my soul that there was another chapter in my life. And I knew the truth. This is what I want to get across. I knew the truth. Because when you are in that quiet moment, you've got no voices except your own inner voice. You've got no one around you telling you what you should do, what you could do, and what's best for you. And you really are in that quiet moment. You know what you are meant to be doing. And I remember standing across the road, and it was kind of like an inner voice saying to me, you need to stand up, you know, shake yourself off, get over yourself, get over your self-doubt, get over your fear. You know, I'm in my 50s now. Most people would, you know, be thrilled to be having a retirement at this age. but it wasn't for me. And I had to have that truthful conversation. And I remember coming home and I said to my husband, I know that I am not being true to myself. I know that I've got more in me and I'm just not finished. I mean, can you relate to that in any way? Do you ever wake up and know that there is something great for you, yet the fear sets in, the self-doubt sets in, the self-worth, the low self-worth sets in, and you ask yourself, oh my God, can I really do this? Have I got what it takes? Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be young enough? Am I going to be intelligent enough? All these things set in. And these are the moments where we make that decision. Do we quit on ourselves, or do we find the strength, the character to keep moving forward and have that authentic, truthful conversation with ourselves? Because here's what I know. When we cannot see the light to our dreams, when we can't see the light and all we see is, the clouds or having to do something that is just not inspiring for us, we retreat internally, we retreat externally, and we retreat to what I call limiting beliefs. We stop asking intelligent questions. We stop asking for help, especially from others who have what we want to achieve in life. We stop believing in our own self-worth and think that we're not deserving of it, or it's too late, or we're not smart enough, or, I better focus on what other people want because then they'll like me more. Any of this resonating with you? We stop using our imagination and we close our mind. So we become what I call small-minded, and we allow dogmas and other opinions to keep that mind chatter flowing instead of listening to ourselves. In other words, we let other people's voices and opinions rule our life. And I'm saying this because I've done it myself many, many times, until the day I made a decision that enough was enough. The lies were enough. The stories I told myself were enough. I was done with telling myself the stories, and I'll tell you why I made that decision. I made that decision because I couldn't live with myself knowing that I wasn't finished yet. I couldn't live with myself knowing that what I had to share with other people, the impact that I wanted to have on other people's lives, was kept inside of me instead of being released. Now, I want you to ask yourself, are you holding your gifts inside? Are you holding your best stuff inside of you? Are you holding yourself back because of your ego, or your fears won't let you to move forward and share with other people? Imagine the world being a better place because you overcame that fear and just pushed through. And I know what it's like because I live it each and every day. And so these are the reasons why we quit on ourselves. We are running enthusiastically in the wrong direction, and all because of our own self-worth or lack of it. That is the number one major reason in my view and from my own experience. And I want to finish that number one reason to say this. The truth is, life and business can feel very, very hard and very, very lonely at times. And so what I would say about that is, it is not weak to ask for help, especially from the right source. Now, when I say the right source, I'm saying from those who can help you move forward. Don't ask advice, don't ask opinions from those who want to keep you in the same spot. Now, some people won't like what I'm saying here, but I have a very strong belief that sometimes people love to talk about, well, let me just say it this way. Misery loves misery, or misery loves the company of misery. That's what I mean to say. Some people love to talk about what is, not to help you to move forward, but to keep you where you are. Oh, now isn't that an interesting statement? Ask yourself, have you ever been in a situation where you're sharing something with someone and they just love to talk about it, stir the pot, and you know in your heart that you're not moving through that problem, through that hurdle, but you're staying in that pothole? Some people love to keep you where you are, not for your benefit, but for their benefit. Because your light, your shining light, makes them look at themselves in the mirror and see that they're not living their true life. It's not weak to ask questions. We were taught at school not to ask questions, not to seek help, not to copy off other people. We were told that that's cheating. The truth is, in business and in life, we need each other. We need to lean in to each other and ask questions, especially for someone who's been there, especially for somebody who has a result that you would love to emulate. It's not weak to collaborate with others who understand you, who hear you, who see you, and keep you going when you just want to quit so badly. I can sit here and say to you from my heart, look at you in the eye if you're watching this. I have wanted to quit so many times on myself, my family, and my dreams because I just didn't think I had it in me. And without my mentors, without my mastermind, without the people who wanted to see me succeed for the benefit of other people, I would have quit and I would have kept small. Who knows, I would have still been in that office back in Tasmania, living a small and desperate life. I know what it feels like to want to quit. I can't say there's a day goes by that sometimes I just want to quit on something. But I made a decision, I made a commitment to fulfill my dreams, to fulfill the calling that I have within me. The question is, are you? Okay, so it's not weak to invest in yourself. And this is what I want to say to all of you. We don't have all of the knowledge. We don't have all of the wisdom. We don't have all of the assurance that we need to become successful going it alone. So don't feel weak. Don't feel less than if you need to invest in yourself, invest in courses, invest in mentors, because they are the ones that can get you there years and years and years before. And I just recently I'm reading a Napoleon Hill book at the moment, The 15 Laws of Success. You know, Napoleon Hill is one of my mentors, my many mentors. And here's what he shares, that we can achieve more in 1 year in the right mastermind community with the right mentors than going it alone, than what we can achieve in a whole lifetime going it alone. So let me repeat that. We can achieve more in 1 year in the right mastermind with the right mentors than we can achieve a lifetime of going it alone. It is not a weakness. You are your best investment. You are worth it. Your children are worth it. Your family are worth it. And those people's lives that you want to impact are so worth you pushing through and deciding not to quit. Now, the second major reason, I hope you're writing this down, girls, are you writing all this stuff down in your journal? Even if you think you've heard it before, even if you think you know it before, unless you are living your absolute dream life with all the money that you want in the bank, the lifestyle you want, making a difference in other people's lives, doing it, you don't know it. So a lot of people say to me, I know that, Amanda. I've heard that, Amanda. I say, babes, are you living it? If you are not living it, you don't know it yet. So keep writing, keep learning, keep absorbing this goodness. Okay, I'm just going to lean in here. So many comments coming in. I'm going to get to the comments after, ladies. I can't read them just from this far back. So the number 2 major reason that we quit on ourselves, our loved ones, and our dreams is this. We have not broken our goals or our dreams down to bite-sized, manageable, and purposeful sizes. Here's the truth. Many people get confused. They just want to get to the destination. They just want to get to the top of their mountain. But the satisfaction, the good feeling inside of you comes from the word progression. Write that down. Progressive practice steps. And this is what I love to teach. Progressive practice steps is the stuff that keeps us inspired. It's the stuff that keeps us enthusiastic, moving towards each goal, towards a bigger dream. So the goal is on the way to the bigger dream. So progression. Now, what does progression do? Progression elevates our self-worth. I've said it a few times now. The number one reason why less than 1% of people ever become financially independent it comes down to self-worth. However, if you commit and make a decision to progress towards that light or towards each goal and each dream each and every day by asking yourself, is what I'm doing right now taking me closer or further away from that goal and that dream? It elevates your self-worth. Progression is the key. Without progression, here's what happens, and this is the habit that millions of people get themselves into, which causes anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, confusion, lack of clarity, lack of purpose, is that they have a habit of thinking they know it all, but not doing anything. So gathering information, but not using that information in a manageable way or in a purposeful way or in a structured way. The knowledge that you get or the knowledge that you learn must be structured in a clear way so that you can progressively move through it. What happens when we don't have progression? And I know I've been here countless times myself, and this is all the stuff that I've learned over the years of investing over $630,000 into my own self-education since the age of 16. Countless mentors, countless seminars, countless courses, countless mistakes, things that I've learned along the way. Okay, but it started out with one book. One book is where it began. That if you are not progressively moving towards the light, your lighthouse, where you want to go, and what I can share with you is this. We've only got to turn that life dial by just 1 degree. It's not hard. Success is simple, but it only takes 1 degree to turn that dial because it elevates the self-worth. And without turning that dial, overwhelm sets in, self-doubt will set in, other people's voices and opinions will set in. And this can happen especially when there's no structure, there's no time frames. You haven't got a start date, a completion date. You haven't got the right mastermind community. You haven't got a mentor who says, enough of the stories, let's keep progressively moving forward, one step at a time. On top of that, another reason that we quit in this, number 2, is no skill. No personal or professional structure in our day. We wake up and we roll out of bed and we let the day happen to us. The phone call happens, we just take the call. We're on Facebook, we're on the Instagram, we're on the Google. You know, we are on every app, you know, even boyfriend, girlfriend apps. The Tendler, I call it. Filling in our day, often with stuff that is not going to take us anywhere near the lighthouse. It's kind of like a ship out in ocean with the rudder, the rudder turned in the wrong direction. And, you've got that compass turned south instead of true north, and we're heading in the wrong direction and we can't even work out why. It's because there's no personal and professional structure. This is why every master that I have trained under, studied under, every mentor has always said, those left to tend to their own devices will probably fail because we're just all over the place. There's no way I would have a life that I love living right now if I didn't have the mentors, the structure, personally and professionally. There's no guidance. Some people quit because they don't even have any guidance in their life. They don't know what they're doing, why they're doing it, where they're headed. So their ship is like a ship that's going around and around and around and around on the ocean. And soon enough, what will happen is they'll run out of fuel. And what happens then? Well, a wave will hit the ship and it will roll and it will sink, just like we do in life. It is true. Less than 30% of people are actually very happy in their life. Less than 30%. Give me a sign, ladies and guys, if you would love to be in the 30% of people who wake up loving their life, even the hurdles that come along, because life ain't no one side, is it? Would you want to be in the top 30%? It takes structure. It takes skill. It takes guidance. It takes accountability. It takes self-worth. You see, most people want the life. Most people I meet want the life. This used to be me as well. I wanted the lifestyle. I wanted the money in the bank, but I had low self-worth. low self-esteem. Look at these love hearts coming in. The laughter, the Tendler. Not that there's anything wrong with dating apps or anything like that. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, where is your time being spent? Where is your time being invested? People want the money, they want the lifestyle, but they don't invest in themselves. You cannot be successful if you have low self-esteem. You cannot be successful if you have low self-worth, no structure, and your rudder's broken on your life ship. You don't have the lighthouse to guide you in. We can't expect a miracle from nothing. God helps those who help themselves. I'm going on a bit of a rampage, aren't I? This was supposed to be a nice, calm podcast. Give me a thumbs up, ladies, if this is helpful for you. You're taking notes. I share this from my heart. I share this because I care. As a mentor and the Millionairess movement, this is about helping elevate other people's self-worth, net worth, life worth, helping other people get what they want in life. This is what it's all about. Doing all that you could with all that you have in life. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to get to the number 3 major reason why we quit on ourselves, our loved ones, and our dreams. And you've got to think about this. I'm going to ask yourself, your habits of doing less today than you could do, who else's life does that impact? Does that have an impact on your children? Does that have an impact on your financial future, your parents, those you care about, your community, your state, your country, the globe, the work that you want to do? Do your habits impact other people apart from yourself? You've got to ask these questions. Some people don't like asking these questions. They just want to pull the doona up and go, oh, Amanda, that's too much for me. I'm just going to pretend it's all okay. One more thing I want to say about that, and I only know this from experience and hundreds of seminars, standing on stage, looking into the heart and soul of people. When you look into people's eyes and you're standing on a stage talking about creating a life by design, wealth creation, taking care of your financial future through creating a business that you love and a business that pays you gorgeously, a business that impacts other people's lives in a positive way. And we're talking about that from the front of the stage. And I get to look into people's eyes, which are the windows to their soul. And I have seen too many, hundreds and hundreds of people who look at me from the stage, from their seat, and I'm up on stage and they are looking at me and I can see what they're thinking. I can feel what they're thinking. And you know what it comes down to most times? Is the regret of not making a decision, the regret of not making the commitment to fulfill their own vision, their own mission, their own calling in life. That is the biggest regret, of not living their own dreams, of leaving it too late, thinking that somebody else will take care of them, thinking that the government will give them a handout to the day they die. That is the biggest regret and the biggest sadness that I see in people's eyes. And this is why I sit here sharing my wisdom, sharing knowledge, sharing stories with you so that is not you. I don't want that for you. Don't leave it till it's too late, till you're too tired, till you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually have nothing left. Okay? So let me get on with this. Number 3 major reason that we quit. We perceive, this is a good one, and I learnt this from Dr. John Demartini, we perceive more drawback and pain associated with the journey of success than the benefits and the pleasure. Please listen very, very carefully. We perceive more drawback and pain associated with the journey to success than the benefit and the pleasure. So here's the truth. Our brain plays tricks on us. Our brain is here to protect us. It protects us from ourselves and it protects us from pushing through and fighting through our own fears. The other problem is we have people around us who want to protect us. They want to save us from ourselves. Does anyone know what I'm talking about here? Anyone had that experience? Don't risk it. Don't get into business. It's too dangerous. Well, what happens if you lose your money? What happens if you make a fool of yourself? I don't think you've got the intelligence for that, Amanda. I don't think you know what you're doing. What if they laugh at you? All of this stuff that goes on. And what do? Our brain plays tricks and we perceive so much pain compared to the benefits and the pleasure that we quit. We quit before we friggin' begin. Has anyone had that experience? Do you know what I'm saying here? Anyone relating to this? This is truth because I've done it myself, listening to everybody else. We go into fight or flight mode. It is so crucial to our success in life, to our financial future, to creating a life by design, a business that we love, that we get gorgeously rewarded for, a business that serves great numbers of people, that impacts their lives in a positive way. It is so crucial to work on our conditioning, our mindset, until we can overrule the negative voices on the inside and the out. Because here's the thing. It's kind of like, I don't like to use the words we're going into war, but it's a constant battle sometimes with many of us, not only fighting the negative inner chatter, but the people on the outside giving their 2 cents worth. Who's had that experience? Be careful. Wouldn't it be better to stick to your day job? It pays so much more money. And even though I know the job's making you sick from the inside out, and it's probably causing all sorts of disease within your body, I really think you should stick to that job. Have you ever had that said to you? Don't be crazy. This job gives you all the benefits under the sun. Why would you go and start a business or create a lifestyle that you dream of when you get all the benefits at a job you just hate? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why do we do that? The voices on the inside and the outside, they're the ones we've got to really be mindful of. And there's a beautiful saying, I don't know who coined it. We've got to stand guard at the door of our own mind. We've got to condition ourselves. Now, I know Tony Robbins talks about this all of the time. We've got to condition our mind, just like we go to the gym to condition our arms, our legs, our bums, our stomachs, our bodies, everything. The mind does not condition itself because it's full of antiquated, limiting self-beliefs. We've got to work that mind like a bit of dough every morning. And this is the truth. And people say to me, how did you get the life that you want? You've gone from dead broke, Loserville, or sometimes I say dollar heir, to multi-millionairess. How did you do that, Amanda? I did it through conditioning my mind. I failed everything at school, everything except 2 subjects. I conditioned my mind. Every day I work harder on myself. Do I still have self-doubt? Yes. Do I still have limiting beliefs? Yes. I surround myself with people who make me want to be better. I have people around me who push me to greatness. I have books and mentors, the mastermind community that keeps me moving forward. It's easy to fail in life. It's easy to be a dollar heir. It's not easy to be a multimillionaire, a decamillionaire. But I get to have beautiful conversations with world-leading entrepreneurial women every week now. And some of their stories will blow your mind. As soon as this Millionairess magazine releases tomorrow, you will start to read and glean the wisdom of other women who are just forging ahead with such incredible stories that would make me shrink back in. I just blown away with the hurdles that these women overcome, the adversity that these women overcome to realize their dreams. The question is, are you? Or are you shrinking back from yourself, from life? It's the question I have to ask myself every day. So what am I saying on that? We stack the pain more than the benefits. And so here's what I would say. We need to stack the benefits of moving forward. So every time I have a hurdle in my life, in my business, in my money, in every area of my health, I start to stack the benefits of moving through it. So if I don't feel intelligent enough, I don't feel good enough, I don't feel young enough, bright enough, whatever enough, I ask myself, what are the benefits, Amanda, of overcoming that to become more than you are now, so that that same problem is never a problem again. You find the solution. Stack the benefits of not quitting. And here's how I do it. I ask myself, if I overcome this, if I stack the benefits against all the pain that I might be feeling in that moment and push myself through, I'm not going to die. I'm not at war, am I? I'm only at war with myself. As Napoleon said, if you've never read Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil Within, that is a must read. The devil is yourself. The devil is your conditioning, your inner limiting beliefs. Okay, not some devil in the ground here. It's within our own thoughts. I ask myself, if I outwit the devil within my own mind, what will my life look like in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? But there's more to that question. If I do overcome it, and if I don't overcome it. Wow, what a difference. Most people will never ask themselves that question. They will never have that truthful conversation. I've had it with myself millions and millions and millions of times, and every time I come up to a hurdle, that is the question I say to myself. Amanda, there is never a drawback without a benefit. There is never a benefit without a drawback. Life is a balance of ups and downs, highs and lows, negatives and positives. It is bullshit to think that there's just one side of life. None of us feel like that every day. Ask yourself. None of us. So I say to myself, what will my life look like 1, 3, 5, 10 years from now if I don't move through that fear? And what will it look like if I do move through that fear? And each and every time I conquer my own limiting beliefs, I go to another level. And it's not about what we get. It's not about the cars, the houses, the money, the jewels. It's not about what we get. It is about who we must become to have the life we want to have. And so just by becoming stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, that is the true payoff. Then the financial payoff will come. The lifestyle payoff will come. Most importantly, above all that, the health payoff will come. If you want magnificent health and well-being, start being truthful with yourself. Start asking yourself the questions. Start surrounding yourself with the mentors, the mastermind, the communities that will help move you forward when others on the outside will want to pull you back. Because either way, you'll get momentum one way or another. And that is my greatest gift to you, is that I believe in you. You have what it takes to fulfill your vision, your goals, your dreams, your family's goals and dreams. You have it within you to elevate your self-worth and elevate your net worth for entrepreneurial people who want to build a gorgeous business they absolutely love, getting gorgeously rewarded for it through soulful serving. Oh, wow, that is possible. Everything is possible as long as you can overcome your own limiting thoughts. So that is my rampage. It is a podcast turned to a rampage today. I truly hope you got so much gold from that, so much wisdom and heartfelt love that I'm pushing you forward towards the lighthouse. Remember, all you got to do is turn your life compass by 1 degree. 1 degree. And through progressive practice steps, day by day, you cannot help but get to the light, especially if you have somebody guiding you and showing you the way. You will shave years off it. Don't go it alone. Find the right mentor that you know has the wisdom and the ability to get you there. And that there ends today's podcast on the 3 major reasons why we quit on ourselves, our loved ones, and our dreams. I really hope that you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed sharing that information with you and the wisdom. Ladies, I would love to hear your thoughts on what I shared with you. What is the one major gem? If you can just put into the comment box for me, one major gem that you just gleaned from that. podcast, which turned into a rampage, that would really help each other in here. If you truly want success, ladies, in your life, you know you deserve it. However, the more you give, the more you receive. The more you share what you learn, the gems that you glean from the lessons, devour the lessons and progressively move forward, I promise you, I guarantee you that you will reach your goals. Don't retreat backwards. Don't go back to what was. The old life is gone. Don't go backwards to the old life just because you think it's going to make you feel better. This is what I want to say to you from the heart to finish up this. This is not on the podcast now, girls. This is to you. Don't go backwards. Go forwards. The past is gone. Create a new life. Ask better questions. Get around different people. Change jobs, change houses, change careers, whatever the hell you need to do. But don't go backwards. And I'm going to, Kaz, this is for you. Janie, this is for you. All of you who don't feel worthy or feel the doubt and the clouds have set in, what I would say to you is don't go back. Go forward. We have your back inside here at Millionairess, and you have everything that you need to make that life that you want. And as Jim Rohn says, don't wish life was easier, wish you were better. That's what I would do. I'd work on me harder than go backwards. You know, I can't imagine going backwards now. And I can't imagine it for any of you either. You know, you deserve so much more than that. Tomorrow we release the first issue of Millionairess magazine. We would love for you to join the movement. You get full 12-month subscription, absolutely free, plus my audio book of Frustrated to Fabulous, valued at $14.95 all US as a gift. But we are going to come in here live just to share a quick message. So that wraps up today. I want to send you all the love, everything within me. Keep going towards the light, and I will always be leading you and guiding you for as long as you can handle my rampages. Yahoo! I can't wait for the magazine either, Helen. Now, that was more like a rampage than a podcast. However, as always, it is shared from my heart and my wisdom and with your best intentions in mind. Please listen again and be sure to progressively move towards your lighthouse each and every day. As always, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. And until next week, I appreciate you tuning in to G'day Gorgeous, that is dedicated to turning entrepreneurial women into a millionairess from the inside out, enriching lives for generations to come. Please share this message, share this podcast with your friends, your family, community, others that you know that would greatly benefit from the wisdom that I share with you each and every week. Lastly, to find out more about my Millionairess mentoring for entrepreneurial women, more about our books, incredible and inspirational stories of other women on their journey, pop over to millionairessmagazine.com. And until next week, be bold, be courageous, and even more fabulous. Bye for now.